AI is relatively new. In my opinion, it also gets a lot of extra hype. People have a perception that it's magic. So I think the three key areas that we or groups that we made sure we had everybody, right, was we kept the stakeholder in the loop all the time. So the decision makers who typically don't operate day to day with the team, we wanted to make sure they were fully aware of the progress. AI is relatively new. In my opinion, it also gets a lot of extra hype. People have a perception that it's magic, and we wanted to make sure that we level set that very, very accurately. So we wanted to make sure that the stakeholders who have vested into this technology and have seen its potential were aware of what rate of progress and what value they're continuing to get out of it, and ultimately getting to really the impact that they envision. So making sure they're in the loop was one area and one group that we absolutely kept in the loop. The second one was the actual implementation people, right? I think for me, what is very, very important is the norm in the industry is, hey, when you have AI, it's going to replace people. When we build our tools, that's not our focus, that's not our objective. I wanted to make sure that the people who are doing the work, who are actually going to use this tool, they are the ones who are very, very comfortable with the technology. They really understand it inside out, and then see this really as a tool and not as a replacement. So that was the second sort of group. And then the third group that we had, not accounting for the professional services team, but the other team that we had was our core engineering team. So what we wanted to make sure was we collaborate with all of them, especially the testers in the group, as well as the product owners, right? To be able to say, what is the immediate feedback of items that will add more value as we go through and traverse through the use cases that the client is encountering and is wanting to use the product for, to be able to have that communicated back and actually enhance the capabilities that we are offering or make an impact into our roadmap. So the product owners were key in all of those conversations. And then the second aspect of this was the actual testers. So we wanted to give our perspective of boots on the ground to be able to say, hey, look, when we test, we think of this capability being used this way, and this is the only scope. So hence we test it and validate it this way. Here's how we actually saw multiple variations of this being used in addition to what you may have thought. Or be able to also help them say, well, how much we spend time doing this side of validation. For now, we have not even gotten into that. It doesn't seem as important. So having that perspective and giving that back in real time was fascinating. And then I think for me personally, it was a lot of fun to be able to say, hey, this concept that we have developed, right? And as a practitioner myself, I'm thinking, well, yeah, it makes sense. And then again, my skepticism comes in and says, it's not that great, right? But then when you actually see that translate into real impact, and then see the value it's bringing in terms of time savings, in terms of effort savings, and just the ease of adoption, right? Even though it's a newer technology, going in and just seeing that firsthand was very interesting and very satisfying at the same time.